poo? Did you go poo?
Hopefully everybody's doing well. We're here to do a little bit of fishing before my license expires. I don't expect to get to the level I need to in time, but that's okay. We'll be pretty close. We'll be able to just do some Amazon fishing to level 75 when the time comes.
Kitty comes. Who's the kitty cat? Yeah, it's gotta be probably because of that fucking March break, bro. What I just ate, fucking whole shitload of that chocolate bar. A bunch of Doritos.
What are you up to?
Hey, Philly.
What are you doing?
I'm just trying to catch you. Looking at how much you can do this spot.
Yeah, she's got an attitude of it, I can tell.
No, I know. And she wouldn't even
What's the
let me
matter?
catch her. What's up, buddy? Hey, what were you gonna tell us last night?
Oh, me?
Remember you said you had something to tell me and Phil?
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I already told Phil. It was just fucking ridiculous. It's alright.
Alright. You gonna let me pet you? Huh? Be nice. There we go. We'll change just like that, eh? I just watched that one.
You
you
must
watched it
look
too,
it in the
didn't
eyes in order to understand that we, the people,
Scrapped
have
it
but
all.
one chance left to unite and fight the evil we are dealing with.
Fuck, they're going crazy now.
Yeah, like lots of fucking scrap shit.
And this thing, that's that place that everybody started building.
Yeah.
So, back to our storyline. The plan to create a killer virus had failed,
Yes.
but they tried alright. Remember the Wuhan Institute of Virology? Millions of dollars went there from the US, from criminals like Anthony Fauci and Charles Lieber.
Shipping container and a couple few things or whatever. And pulled a bunch of trucks around and shit. Gonna try to
Remember the
get more
Fauci emails that will cause his downfall?
I figured, fuck, if he took all those trucks and all the scrap and all the rest of the other trucks he's got on his property, he could scrap all
Please do
that
some research on gain of
thousands of
function.
dollars.
The project where they try to create a virus that would be able to jump from bat to humans, and subsequently from humans to other humans. Now that last bit is a problem.
Yeah, I saw that.
Surely you've heard of Lyme disease.
Yeah.
A virus-infected tick bites a human being, and that human being gets sick. But he or she cannot transmit the disease to another person, not by hugging, not by sneezing, not even by having sex. For a virus to adapt to the DNA of a new host, so it can feed itself and multiply, and then become highly contagious, takes many, many decades in nature. In this case, the Cabal simply ran out of time. Their original plan, in terms of creating a highly contagious and deadly virus, had failed. There was nothing more than an ordinary
They didn't
thing.
chop that shit all up, right?
Oh, they cut it all up.
Right? That's why the kid knew what to buy.
Now those are the scientific facts. But of course,
That we can drag, we got trucks for that.
Yeah.
And they just bought it all, no one else could buy it, because they can do what they know to do with
Nobody,
it.
yeah, and he even said that in the video, nobody's got the equipment to fucking move this shit. And got it, like, whatever, you know, dirt cheap, $500 for like, you know, 6 or 7 grand in scrap metal.
Right, exactly.
Like 5 grand with that shit on the ground, another couple grand for that crane shit when it's all ripped apart.
Like those wheels and shit,
Yeah, they took all the good stuff off of it.
right?
Like,
Just cut it off, and fucking throw the rest in the scrap.
yeah.
Man, you see them trying to load it out of the truck in pieces and it's fucking falling
Oh,
off.
I
and
couldn't stop laughing. It's like, how the hell is that?
shit.
Yeah, come crashing fucking down.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
The bitch, is there a bitch in rides?
Alright, is he live? He's live.
Hey, Philly,
Yeah.
did I tell you who Bill Gates' grandfather was?
Whose grandfather?
Bill Gates.
No.
Oh, it says it ends today.
What ends today?
No, it doesn't say one day left. It says it ends today.
Okay.
So it won't let me use my free sub yet.
That's okay.
Who's Bill Gates' grandfather?
Rockefeller.
Yeah, and you know that Mark Zuckerberg?
Yep.
His grandfather's
Wasn't he a Rothschild or something? I thought
He changed
Zuckerberg
his
was.
name. He's a Rockefeller too.
Okay.
That's why Bill Gates and Zuckerberg are buddies, because they're both family members.
Look at the guy who was involved in Pizzagate. The guy who owned that that ping pong pizza thing that the fucking with the
Comet.
Yes, that guy was a Rothschild, except his name was just a bit different because through the years he descended from them.
What's the good stuff? Let's see what's going on.
Sir Richard Burns?
No.
Huh?
No.
No?
No. They're done. They
You
got one
watched all the
more,
episodes?
there's one more season to go. I don't think it started yet.
We watched all the
Maybe
episodes.
it's, maybe it's, I don't know. But yeah, we've seen all the episodes of the previous one, yes.
Popeye the Slayer Man?
Cool.
The Cabal couldn't
Look at
work
him,
that.
Jack.
That's
They
probably
needed a
fucking
monster
awesome.
of a
That's
threat.
because the copyrights
The
are
problem was
gone.
so great that
Like the
we,
same
the
thing with,
people, would beg
What's his
for
name,
it.
Winnie the Pooh? There's like a horror movie Winnie the Pooh
Simply wouldn't do it.
because his
And so,
copyrights
the
are on
narrative
his
was
characters.
created.
Popeye's an old
A
character.
narrative about a killer
Matter of
virus
fact,
from Wuhan.
Walt Disney,
The story became bigger and bigger. China
somehow
closed its
scammed their
borders.
copyright.
The killer
But
virus managed to
someone's gonna
escape
sue him in
and
court
caused
and take Mickey Mouse
the
and
entire
make Mickey
world.
Mouse fucking public domain. Not the new Mickey Mouse, but the original one.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, like nobody, but they'll be able to take Mickey Mouse
WHO
character and
day
put
and
him in
night
horror
to
movie.
fight this monster. The
Look,
mainstream
that's Snow White
media spread
already
the
on
narrative
TikTok.
like a
Nobody's
real
watching
virus.
it. It's a garbage.
And the
People are
people
going
love
boo.
the
It
breath.
sucked real bad.
People are going boo.
Hey, Billy, that's about right, buddy. People don't want to go watch woke garbage anymore because they realize that it's not about fucking, it's not about Disney, it's not about this stupid fucking message.
What's just that? She was a mouthpiece. She
Yeah.
was big time.
Old people
Yeah.
died of the flu.
The chick that's
Like
playing
every
Snow
fourth
White.
season.
Hey, Philly. Her name is Zegler.
Each and every year, the mainstream media, bought and raised by the
I
cabal,
watched the
did their
original
job
when I was a
magnificently.
kid.
Every day, non-stop, they repeated their horror stories.
The movie's about how the
millions of
woman
people
doesn't
who
need
would
the
die
man.
in the coming months.
Yeah.
Repetition, repetition, repetition. People were brainwashed to the extent of being only able to repeat what they had heard on the news.
That's for making babies.
Those who raised critical questions were labeled conspiracy theorists.
Frogman.
They were dangerous and should
You know what makes me laugh my fucking ass off, Philly, anytime a woman says she doesn't need a man?
That movie Electric State isn't bad.
Here, hey, Philly. That
Yeah.
You're right, though, Phil. Anytime a woman says, I don't need a man, it's like, okay, what about if your fucking plumbing is needed repair, or you fucking have, like, a house fucking cave in? Are you gonna fix that?
Yeah.
They could call a female plumber.
Yeah, you can specifically search for a female plumber.
Boy, could you fix it?
That's what I'm saying, exactly. You
I'm
don't need a
asking you,
man.
could you fix it if you had a plumbing problem?
Right now, at this very second, I could go look on YouTube, but that would be how it happens.
Okay,
right?
so and there are
They
women
were to
plumbers out
become
there.
the outcasts of society.
I had this one girl,
Yeah.
man, she fixed some plumbing in my house. I couldn't believe it. She had a toolbox and everything.
She quote fixed his plumbing.
Yeah, she fixed my sink and a couple other things. I was like in awe. I was like, she had a toolbox full of had tools and everything. She's like, look, I'll get out of the way. Yeah, she took care of business. I had to get rid of her.
Who built? Well, I guess they weren't. Women weren't allowed to build back then. That's right.
18 months of that, I'd had enough. Never listen to Robbie Walters ever again. Not to mention my buddy Phil Zalman fucking boot fucked your brother's head into a coma.
Oh my.
He was in a coma for a few months. Got charged for aggravated assault.
Bill's a bit of a head case, though.
Kind of how it matters because we were talking. She's going on about her brother. It's like, oh, I know, recognize that name. I says, Phil Zellman's one of my best buddies. She's like, what? I was like, yeah. She didn't hold it against me, but, you know, yeah, I stomped his head right out. Broke his foot on his head.
Have you watched the second 10-part series, Phil?
No, I haven't watched the second one yet.
Okay. Because there's a third set of 10 coming out, too.
Now, the funny thing is, most people still believe that this pandemic was a sudden outbreak. All of a sudden it was there, at the beginning of 2020. Well, no.
There it goes.
Not correct. Let's have a look at some hard facts that will show us that the entire COVID-19 event was a well-prepared and rehearsed project. What happened? Remember the swine flu outbreak in the US in the spring of 2009? Well, according to the CDC's website, the WHO declared the swine flu a pandemic on June 11, which was insane, as only a few people had died from the infection. But it was spreading from the US to other countries, and that made it a pandemic. Now, if you're as old as we are, you know that this is not severe enough to be called a pandemic. Not even close. Our encyclopedias read, a pandemic consisted of simultaneous epidemic outbreaks worldwide with enormous numbers of deaths and illness. That was precisely the definition used by the WHO. Until May the 5th, 2009. On that day, 5 weeks before the official outbreak of the swine flu pandemic, the WHO quietly changed the definition by removing the severity and high mortality criteria. What was left? Just the spread of a disease over several countries. How convenient. Now guess what? The NIH denies that the definition of a pandemic was ever changed by the WHO.
Wow.
Shame on those who say otherwise. It has undermined the public trust in health officials. Seriously? Have a look at the evidence. Not that you can still find it on the WHO website. Everything has been deleted. But there's a magical tool called the Wayback Machine. You can delete all you want from the internet, but it never disappears. It just gets hidden in a different place when nobody looks for it. The Wayback Machine helps you track the original site, page, or even sentence. See for yourself. Just a random day in 2003, enormous numbers of deaths and illness. March 2009, enormous numbers of deaths and illness. May 4, 2009, enormous numbers of deaths and illness. And then, May 5, 2009, a completely different story, but no real definition yet. They were still thinking about it, or so it seems. The next day they changed it again. May 6. A pandemic is a worldwide epidemic of a disease. Pandemics can be either mild or severe in the illness and death they cause. And it stayed that way. So, NIH, what exactly did you say again? The WHO did not change its definition of pandemic influenza. And what did you say to those who claim the WHO did change the definition? It undermined the public trust in health
Even though you guys changed it yourselves.
officials. No shit! We won't let that happen. And it only gets better. Let's have a look at the CDC's very own timeline. April 15, first human infection. April 17, second human infection. April 21, the CDC starts developing a candidate vaccine virus. My, 2 flu infections and oh my god, we're all gonna die! We need a vaccine? But hey, let's not judge. They are the professionals, alright? They know what they're doing. 1 day later, April 22, the CDC activated.
It's true though, as if they knew that would be an issue.
Its Emergency Operations Center. Wow, don't you feel safe knowing that these people are there for you when you need them? I mean, 2 people get a new kind of flu and voila, ready to save lives. And look how professional that is. April 23, 2 more people are now infected. April 24. The CDC uploads complete gene sequences of the new virus to an international influenza database. Why am I thinking about unicorns right now? April 25. The WHO declares a public health emergency of international concern. Well, of course they did. 4 people down with the flu. What else could they do? April 28. The FDA approves a new CDC test to detect H1N1 infections. Wow. Now that's what we call dedication.
That is
2
quick.
weeks' time, this test was both developed and FDA approved.
That's fucking
In
crazy.
July, only 3 months after the first
Absolutely
US
crazy.
infection, the CDC stopped keeping track of new infections or casualties.
We found was by the 3rd week in July, the CDC advised to stop testing for individual cases of H1N1 flu, and they stopped counting individual cases. The rationale that the CDC gave was, well, why continue wasting resources tracking when we already established there is an epidemic?
What? How the hell is that a
Why
waste of
continue wasting
resources?
tracking when we already established there is an epidemic?
What?
What followed was identical to the SARS-CoV-2 script. But there were no lockdowns. It suddenly stopped. The WHO officially declared the end of the pandemic in August 2010. What happened? On October 21, 2009, CBS investigative reporter Cheryl Atkinson told Washington Unplugged that 3 months of investigation had proven that only a tiny percentage of suspected cases turned out to test positive for the swine flu.
If you've been diagnosed with probable or presumed 2009 H1N1 or swine flu in recent months, you may be surprised to know this. The odds are you didn't have H1N1 flu. In fact, you probably didn't have flu at all. Only a small fraction of cases that doctors flagged as most likely to be swine flu actually tested positive for swine flu at state labs. The vast majority of the cases were negative.
Wow.
There were hardly any real cases, contrary to what the public was told by the mainstream media.
Liars.
But Atkinson's shocking discoveries were not aired on TV. It was Dr. Wolfgang Wodak, lung specialist and former chair of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, who told the world that the swine flu was only a mild flu. He called the WHO's false pandemic flu campaign one of the greatest medicine scandals of the century. Dr. Wodak was a well-respected